Do you ever forget to stand up ever so once in a while, stretch, etc.? Well, now you don't have to remember. Thanks to Mova, which is MOOVA, just reminds you to move, stretch, and gives you science-backed exercises to help you to do so. I am so grateful that it takes one thing off of my mental plate to do. Go check them out in the links below and use the code JC15, that is J as in Juliet and C as in Charlie, and the number 15 to get 15% off on a pay plan. Thanks to our sponsor, the Crazy Fitness Guy Show is sponsored by Block P locks out distractions so you crush your fitness goals. Autism Strong style. No more time wasters, just pure gains. Get Block P now. Link is in the show notes. That is Block P. Say goodbye to distractions and hello to Before you crash for the night, try breathwork in bed. Their guided sessions help you unplug, slow down, and actually rest. Head to Breathwork in Bed today and start your free 28-day trial so you can wake up more focused, more calm, and ready to tackle your goals. Visit a link in the show notes. Oh, sorry, my bad. Visit the sponsorship page in the show notes. Hey, it's Jimmy Clare. Overwhelmed? Tick-tick to-do list turns chaos into clear steps. Set it, tag it, crush it. Then move. Your goals won't wait, and neither should you. Download Tick-tick to-do list and get it done today. It's cross-platform, and they also have a nice generous free version as well. Go to tickticktodolist.com or visit the link in the show notes. Learn new ideas every day with Deep Stash and make your next workout, study session, workday more productive in just a few minutes. Visit deepstash.com to find out more or check out the links in the show notes.
Get ready to unleash your inner awesomeness with the Crazy Fitness Guy Show. Hosted by Jimmy Clare, renowned professional keynote speaker, podcaster, and autism advocate. This show is all about embracing what makes us unique. Join Jimmy as he shares inspiring stories, experiences, and expertise to motivate and educate. Make sure you follow our show so you never miss a brand new episode. Now let's dive into the show.
A great question for myself. I don't have the answer for that, but we shall see going through this conversation. Anyway, let's welcome Sherman. Hey, Sherman.
Hey, Jimmy, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Good to be here.
So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, how you got started, and why you got started?
Okay, so I'm Sherman Perryman, the founder of Militant Grind. The reason why I got started is that I wanted to work in a business along with my entrepreneurship background where I could actually impact people and serve a higher purpose. And so I came up with the personal brand, and I started thinking about some of the things I used to do in the past, which is advise people, counsel people, and how I help people, with their personal and daily lives. And I was like, okay, I could probably, create a brand out of this and create a business out of this, which is something that I could do effortlessly and do, it's absolutely nothing. I did it for my tax clients, real estate clients, period. A lot of people come to me for advice. So the reason, did I answer why? You said why, right? That was the last one. Yeah. And so the reason why I'm kind of I was so gung-ho about this and kind of want to really pursue this, it's because I want to leave something behind when I leave the world. I want to impact the world. And so that's why I'm kind of like, I'm into this. I like it. I love being able to see that I'm also making a difference in other people's lives.
That's a good, that's a good why. No pun intended. So, my next question for you is, how did you, how were you able to do all of that? It sounds very, it sounds very overwhelming at times, don't it?
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur and whatnot. So, how do you have the mindset for all of this?
Honestly, it's just being very efficient, using tools, using other people. I'm not like a one man band. I work with a lot of other people too when it comes to my brand. And the thing is, most of all, is just being able to delegate, ask for help, and whatever isn't your strength, you definitely should find somebody that where you can utilize their strengths for your weaknesses. So, a lot of things I do on my own. It definitely is overwhelming. I will say that because you have to do a lot of output. You have to do a lot of figuring out. I mean, I have my own podcast where I have to edit episodes and put them out and things like that. And the thing is, that keeps me going. It's just like if you just be consistent, something will come out of it. And I've been seeing that lately when it comes to the work that I've been producing. People, if I go out in public, somebody will come up to me and say, "Hey, I seen your podcast," or "Hey, I seen this, hey, I seen that." And I'm just kind of like shocked, like, wow, I didn't even think people watched it like that. But everybody's paying attention, everybody does. And so with that, I just hold myself accountable to keep pushing, keep going because it's getting out there and people do appreciate it as well.
I definitely know that feeling, though I don't, though I'm quite the opposite. I don't have any people. It's only me. Literally, if I took away this background on screen, I'm in my bedroom. Just in my bedroom. That's my studio. I don't have a big enough house to have a dedicated room. Eh, Sad but true. But so what I do to keep myself consistent, I use some automation tools like Zapier. Today I just been setting up the most complicated thing I've been doing, trying to build a community and whatnot. I'm not going to share all of that because that's just uh, it's a complicated mess, and I'm trying to figure that out as I go along with the steps.
Right.
So so basically, it just let's just say it's just one big spider web. So tools have gone this, then here, over here, and like holy crap! And it's like thank goodness Zapier exists because I'd be lost without it.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Zapier, but yeah, even adopting like those tools where you can automate things and do things a little bit more effortlessly, I feel like that could go a long way too, because you do have to juggle a lot. But thankfully, the tools are out there to help you when it comes to juggling a lot.
So my next question for you is how can people adopt this kind of mindset to keep going, to keep pushing forward? Because I know there's some days as being an entrepreneur as myself, there uh, there's some days that you feel like on top of the world, and there's some days you just feel like somebody just kicked the crap out of you.
Right. I feel like it's just a discipline. Like I tell people, I'm never motivated to go to the gym. I just go because I'm disciplined enough to go, So it's like if you could brush your teeth every day, if you could take a shower every day, if you could eat every day, you have to put non-negotiable items, or tasks in your daily life where it's like no matter what, I'm gonna go ahead and accomplish this, and I'm gonna do this every day. If I feel good, if I feel a little down, I mean, hopefully not sick or ill, but a lot of us do certain things, including like go to work when we're not feeling 100%. So you have to do that for yourself as well. If you could go to someone's job and give them, 8 hours of your time and give them the best of your time, no matter what you're feeling, just because you getting paid or things like that, like why don't you give that to yourself when it comes to some of the tasks that you want to accomplish? So I think about it like that. It's like I need to do certain things for me, in order for me to be the best individual that I could be. So some days I go to the gym and I feel like I have a little cold, and I'll still go and knock it out, But I'm not gonna, some days you just so worn out where you can't go. But it's like if you make it up somewhere, then you'll be okay. But I feel like discipline is one of the main pillars where it comes to accomplishing a task, no matter like how you feel.
For me, when I feel like giving, I go back to my vision board. Even I have to update it a little bit. I think I'm gonna update it after the semester, just because I have not been having any time for doing so.
Mhm.
But the stuff that's already there, I just keep going back to the vision board, and also just keep seeing the bigger picture of things, and I keep reminding myself why I started, where it's come to, why I'm still doing this, the joy of doing this. And I also remind myself is that my favorite part of what I do is interviewing people and also speaking on stages and meeting people in public versus just everything on the back end. So even though there's a lot of stuff I had to do on the back end, doing a lot of the stuff on the front end makes it up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
some days where admin's task is like, gosh, I hate this admin task. Why am I doing this? Like let me go back to the example of in this community spider web. It's literally just it's been eating at my brain since like a week and a half already, and I finally just started putting it in place. And I'm like, this is starting to make sense now. Why was my brain complicating this more than it really needs to?
Mm-hmm.
It's like your brain just plays tricks on you. Damn it,
Yeah.
man.
It could be analysis paralysis or self-sabotage. It could be all kind of things.
And I also want to piggyback off one other thing. It's like when I'm not feeling well, I do not go to the gym. I mean, I work out in my own house, but because I don't want to pay for a gym membership, and I have a gym membership online, etc. But but I agree with you that as well discipline, and I've learned discipline over the years of being in karate. And when I don't get to something, I make it up the next day and fit it in. And it's like, this is not, I'm not, I didn't do this today. I have to do it first thing the next day, or I won't get to it.
Right.
So my next question for you is, how does people build discipline? I know I just said karate, but are there something that you do to help build discipline?
I feel like you could do it in a micro way when it comes to accomplishing small tasks throughout your day and feeling accomplished after you achieve those small tasks. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna write this paper, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, and also writing it down. Writing down your tasks is something I do. I've been doing that for years, just writing it down on a legal pad and just seeing it with my eyes and then just checking it off each time I knock out a task. So if you say, okay, I'm going to do all of this today and you write it down and, you check everything off at the end of the day, you get a sense of accomplishment where it's like, wow, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I feel like that could be a solid start. That works for me, but you have to have some type of accountability measures as well, just to make sure that continue the discipline of doing what you said you were going to do.
I agree, especially like for me, I have a digital to-do list across all my devices. I use a tick to-do list, not a sponsor of my show. I'm just sharing it. Just an FYI. And so for tick to-do list, I set it up to be a reoccurring on some tasks I have reoccurring, and then there's other stuff that's recurring once a month or every other month, and it holds me accountable by if I miss something, it will highlight it in red for the next day, and then it says this is overdue. And then if I miss a couple of days, it says this is very overdue. I'm like, this is very redundant, but thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't added in the part in the app. It's like, where are you doing, you lazy fart? Go get to this task yet.
That's up to you. That's something that you have to tell yourself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe they should let me put in customized quotes for myself and say, stop procrastinating. With every reminder, stop procrastinating, do this.
Right.
I should suggest it to them.
Yeah, you have to just that to yourself. They can only do so much. That's why
I
self
know.
accountability is is where it's at. That's what's gonna make the biggest change.
So my next question for you is, did you always, were you, let's just say, were you born with this kind of mindset or did you have to learn this?
Nah, I would say it was kind of like inherited because I grew up in the military style type of household. So it was like no room for anything to slip. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. It's not that, I grew up and was like, ooh, it was like everything was on the straight and narrow, had chores, had to do things around the house, didn't watch too much TV, was working all the time. So it's not to say that, well, I wouldn't say born, I would say it just kind of like developed, you know. But I feel like a lot of, but then it's also personal too. Like I've also wanted to be the best person that I could be personally. So I developed some things from that discipline that I've learned growing up and just put that inside of my own life, and for me to flourish with that. So yeah, I would say that.
So my next question for you is, uh, did you, because you grew up kind of like military lifestyle, so to speak, do you feel like that took away from your childhood?
No, of course it did, for sure. Yeah, I didn't have like Saturday morning cartoons and, wake up eating cereal and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it definitely did. While the other kids were playing outside, me and my brothers and sisters were getting teased and people calling us slaves because all we did was work. So yeah, definitely did. And I feel like if it wasn't for that, I could have possibly like experienced a lot more as a child, but yeah, yeah, I'll for sure say that.
Well, mine was kind of the opposite of that. Uh, Not trying to rub it in or anything. I just want, I asked out of curiosity.
Yeah, I understand.
So my next question for you is, uh, how what do you think are the best ways for people to hold themselves accountable besides that self-discipline? Like, could they have an accountability partner of some sort, like maybe a friend or a family member?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to do whatever works for them personally. Like accountability partners are actually amazing, especially if the person really has your best interest and they're gonna tell it to you like it is, and they're not gonna cut you any slack. Oh yeah, I have several accountability partners for sure. That'll talk to me like, hey man, what's up? Get on your stuff. What are you doing? You're slacking, or, you're supposed to be working, etc. So I feel like that actually works very, very well, but it just depends on the person that is your accountability partner and what they're able to bring to the table and making sure that they are authentic with you when it comes to your journey.
My next question for you is, has those accountability partners changed over the years or have they stayed the same?
Currently, nah, it really stays the same though. Yeah, like yeah, it kind of like for me, it stayed the same because honestly, accountability partner will end up becoming your close friend because you'll kind of be vulnerable enough to them where it's like you have a close bond, and yeah, I feel like it'll change unless they move away or they get busy or something like that. But more than likely, it stays the same. Like I've had one in college that held me to a certain standard when it came to my health and fitness. I'm talking about popping up at my house unannounced. Hey, let's go to the gym. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, yeah, I've definitely had that.
I think my accountability partner has stayed the same
Mm,
for the most part. I think some roles changed a little bit to modify just to get where I want to go from point A to point B. But
mhm.
I wouldn't say cutting slack or anything, but being, I would say even lenient, but not being like a full blown, I'm looking for a good word, but nothing's come to mind at the moment. Basically, it's trying to just keep me on the right track and not feeling like I'm just a complete and utter failure. Like, oh, you did this, you're done, or whatnot. It's like once and done. No. So I don't have a good word for that, so I'm just going to go with that today.
Right.
It's too much math in my head. I'm blaming everything on math.
You could.
So my next question for you is, if you had to recommend anybody I don't know, motivational books, what would you recommend?
I'll recommend my book. It's called From Grit to Greatness, Harnessing the 5 Pillars of the Militant Grind. And I actually have the 5 pillars on my shirt. So love, honor, strength, discipline, wisdom. So those are actually the 5 pillars. And yeah, I've had a lot of great reviews, a lot of great feedback from the book. Some people said it changed their life, etc. But it was just me giving my best self to it, and put it on paper. Also share stories that everybody could relate to, like biblical, current events, some celebrities that everyone are familiar with, like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and also my personal stories to help relate people to the 5 pillars of the militant grind. So yeah, I would definitely say check that out. It's on Amazon, or you can get it on Kindle or just buy it directly paperback.
I love it how you did not hesitate about it's like my own book.
Of course.
Oh no, I just love that how you just said it's like my own book.
Uh-huh.
Not even a slight hesitation.
Right. I'm not at all. Got to be confident.
Exactly. So my next question for you is, can you tell me what is your podcast about, and who's your main target audience, and what kind of guests have you had on your show?
My podcast is mostly about mental health, resilience, dedication, and basically just getting people's journeys of, where they started and where they're at now and how they overcame certain things in their life. So it's pretty vague because I feel like everyone goes through something in their life. Like, say, I have attorneys, ex drug dealers, medical doctors, a woman who survived sex trafficking on 3 different occasions. Yeah, man. I have a whole array like veterans, combat veterans, um, people that have abused alcohol and different type of drugs. I mean, it's like all walks of life. But at the end of the day, some of them have some stories that they would like to share or like information and things like that. And so I will look at it more so like I'm gathering information on, like, say, how I should go through life. So it's like if you are interested, you can find something that you're interested in to help you. Like, say, a woman suffering abuse, spousal abuse, and things like that. And there's women out there that suffer from that. So I'll say, hey, you should check out this episode because she gives some very good insight on how she developed, and how she got out of these different things. And I have a medical doctor talking about COVID, and I'm just asking him questions about COVID. So it's kind of like how Joe Rogan does his podcast, is where it's like it's not really specifically about something. It's more so about anything, all sorts of topics. And if you just want information, that's a one-stop shop.
That's awesome. Like for me, I have a target audience, but I also keep it broad topics just so that it stays interesting, especially because like I'll be fair, like, but some of these other podcasts about autism, some of them are dormant and they're not doing it anymore. And I just feel like if it's just mainly about autism, people lose interest, or like either the host or the guest or just the audience. So I try to make it broad just to keep it very interesting because, like you said, I'm on people to keep coming back. It's not just about autism, it's about healthy living overall, but then there's lifestyle, which can mean anything.
Right. Yeah.
And because like if it's like just one specific topic and it's like, okay, we beat this thing to a dead horse at the moment.
I get you. Right. Yep. And that's why I kind of like that's how mine's is designed, because it's like I really don't want to stick to one thing. I really want to get information on all sorts of topics and things like that. And because I'm such a avid like researcher and learner, I know about a lot of different things, and so I'll probably try to find someone in that field who I could ask questions to. So that's kind of like how mine's is. So you actually just reminded me I have to find somebody that could talk about astrology and stuff like that for my personal podcast. But yeah, just because I want to learn more and stuff like that.
I have to take that. I have to take astronomy for my next semester in college. Next semester. I don't know if I should be looking forward to it or not looking forward to it. It's 4 credits.
Oh, it's astrology, not astronomy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel stupid.
Nah, you're good.
Well, I mean, either way, I still take it anyway. But still, I'm not looking for. I'm not a science person.
Yeah.
So, my next question for you is, what is it? When did you create your podcast, and what is your mission of your podcast?
I created in August of last year. We got a 62 episodes and counting, because I have some I still have to upload. And the thing is just to give people information, about several topics that they might be interested in learning. So it's like you can almost find anything, and so not to say that I'm taking Joe Rogan's style, but I'm kind of like a person that knows so much about so many different things. So like I say, I could have a conversation with almost anybody and be able to ask them questions based off of the topic, based off what I've researched a long time ago or researching now, etc. So I have a conversational style of interviewing where it's like I ask questions about certain topics, certain things that they do, etc.
So my next question for you is, where do you see your podcast in the next 3 years?
A place where I could actually start.
Hey Warriors, Jimmy Clare here. Tired of mainstream fitness BS? Unlock Crazy Fitness Guy's Elite Podcast. You'll get exclusive merch, exclusive episodes, and bonus motivation or virgin wellness hacks. Blow up your game now. Go to crazyfitnessguy.com and click on the mall link, or click on the link in the show notes to view pricing and more information.
A place where I could actually start doing them more in person, a lot of one-on-ones. Also, Impact Theory is one of my favorite podcasts, which is something that I mimic mine off of, So it's like we really don't know what it's about, but he just interviews people that are the best in their field and just gets them to share information by asking questions. So I just see mines like that. Like I want an actual studio. I want to do one-on-one conversations, etc. Be able to bring big names in and ask them questions that they've never been asked before, so that's my vision for it. I do have a studio where I do, go, but it's like I want my own. I want to set it up. And actually that's in the works. I am working on my own as well as we speak. So yeah, man, it's gonna, things are on the up and up.
For me, I would like to get to the point where I start having big names, guests, whether celebrities or other fitness enthusiasts or even like huge name authors. And I want to get to the point where I wouldn't have to. I like to get to the point where they all heard of my podcast or they do some research of it and say, "Hey, yeah, I want to be on this guy's show." Not just like I have to. Well, I wouldn't say bribe them, but I have to give them so much information. It's like, "Pretty please with the cherry on top."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Honestly, I'm just kidding about that part, but I mean, it pretty much feels like all the little people have to pretty much beg, so to speak, versus where Joe Rogan's like, oh, I've heard Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you got to work your way up though. That's a different
I know.
thing, you know.
I didn't say it's going to come overnight.
Yeah, right. Right. If you look at like how long that guy has been in the industry, how long he's been working, how long he's been consistent, that's the only difference between him and a lot of other people is his consistency. He has, I don't know, what, 2,000 episodes or something like that. He probably records every single day, steady pumping, steady pumping, steady pumping. And so that's the difference between him and the people that you've mentioned before that you said quit, or you can't find it anymore, you know? And
Yeah.
also heard that after 20 episodes, well, podcasts usually don't last over 20 episodes.
Well, then you and me must be in the, what, 10%?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have a lot. But I also heard that after the 100th episode, that's when it gets a little, pretty active, Yeah. So it's all about consistency, man, perseverance, things like that. And some people get in their head, they give up. But if you look at any other success story of any individual that made anything of themselves, they went through something, they failed, they kept going, they didn't have it where it was just like, rolled on red carpet for them, but they figured it out. And so I feel like that's the difference between people that are successful and the ones that are not.
I agree with that because, there's a lot of people like, I think one of the toughest things though for small podcasts like us is that celebrities have gone to podcasts, and I'm not like throwing every celebrity under the bus, but like for instance, I heard somebody, and I wasn't there, but this person said, I read this article, and this person wrote in the article that it's disgusting to hear about that somebody paid for an event, Will Ferrell speaking about the toughness of podcasting, and it's like, how many fans do you have? How many sponsorships do you have? And it's like, stop complaining. And it's like, you don't know the struggles of podcasting. And it's like, you're already made.
Right. Yeah, that is true though. Everyone has different accesses to different access to different things. So yeah, I can see that.
And I also just want to specify, I am not beating up on Will Ferrell. He's not beating up. I just don't like events paying for celebrities to do such a thing like that. It's like, how about you get a small podcaster on or a medium podcaster on who's been doing this a lot longer than celebrities, or who's been who knew from like the ground up, I got to struggle through boom, 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 versus a celebrity's going to know this. And it's like, no, you just wanted a big name there just to.
Yeah, that's what I mean, it's business. You got to get the big name to attract the people.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's all
They should just put that in the disclaimer. They should put that in the disclaimer.
Nah, we supposed to already know that.
Yeah,
Nah,
I know.
It's always business.
I know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool for some to listen to some other small podcast. I mean, who used to be a small podcaster and worked his way up.
Yeah, I get you. I understand.
Or at least put him on second after the guest.
Right. Right.
Fake real. So my last few questions for you is, who's your favorite podcaster and why? And feel free not to say me.
I would say Tim. Is it Tim or Tom? Bellew? Let me.
I was gonna say Jimmy Clare. I don't know who said that.
Yeah, yeah, Tom Bellew. I think that's how you say his name. But it's because I just likes how he's able to converse with his guests, and it doesn't seem scripted. He has knowledge himself, and the way he's able to bring out of guests as far as like his questions and his energy is like very impactful. So I always love watching his podcast because he brings about like the deeper side of people, like the heart, you know what I mean? And so, it's not that he's bantering, he just really wants to get how they think. And it's not more so just like I'm trying to put them on the spot or anything like that. So he doesn't like combat with people. He doesn't go back and forth. He just, oh, okay, well, I could see, I could see how you think like that. He's very calm, very poised. And that kind of, that's kind of like myself. Like I'm calm, I'm poised. I'm not really loud. I'm not really obnoxious and stuff like that. So, I mean, I can be, but I'm just not that type of person on camera. But yeah, and I would say him.
Oh, and then you're gonna add me to the list too, right?
Well, I got you. I got you.
Obviously, I should say that's fun. I always like to learn more about different podcasters and listen to those people as well. So I added that question to the mix as a educational purpose for me, just like to see other people's styles and see what other people are listening to. And I always like to see what people react when I say, and after feel free not to say me. Really get them on the spot.
Right. I got you.
It tricks them up. It's like weren't expecting the twist. Mm-hmm. So my last question for you is, where can people follow you, find you, learn more about who you are and what you do?
MilitantGrind.com is, a resource for almost anything that I've going on. I have blogs there, motivational videos. You can check out my YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram there. You can also contact me, and you could also look at the other websites that I have, which is militantgrind.com. militantgrindacademy.com, militantgrindmedia.com, where I help different businesses source, as far as like brand awareness and stuff like that, help them get out their brand the same way that I got mine out, So yeah, that's the best place you can find me, militantgrind_ on Instagram, or Daddy Warlocks. And the reason why I came up with that name is because you should always remember that. But DADDYWARLOCS.
Jeez, you have a lot of websites and you wear a lot of different hats. Yeah, I'm surprised you don't like roll up at night and say, "Holy crap, I'm overwhelmed."
Nah, you have to have systems in place.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a lot of systems in place, but some days my brain just overtakes all the systems.
Right. I could understand.
I'll admit it. Hey, I admit it. I'm one person doing everything, so that's sometimes. It's not like it's every single day. It's like once in a blue moon, and it's like everything just goes haywire.
Right.
It's not consistent once in a day blue moon. It's like if I'm really having an off day, which I haven't had in a while, I probably just jinx myself.
It'll be all right.
Well, thank you for coming on. I hope you can come back for another time because I definitely think we can keep going with this conversation and learn more information.
Yeah, man, just let me know. I'm around.
Let's stay in touch.
Likewise. Thank you, sir.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
So that's it for today's episode. If you like it, subscribe, share with your family, friends, everyone you know, and let me know what you think. Leave a review and a comment, but be polite. And make sure you check out the Crazy Fitness Guy mall on mall.crazyfitnessguy.com, or just go to Crazy Fitness Guy website, crazyfitnessguy.com, and click on the link that says Crazy CFG mall at the top, and get your swag today. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay motivated. And I'll be back for another episode of Crazy Fitness Guy Healthy Living Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Crazy Fitness Guy Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review so more people can find us. In the meantime, use the links in the show notes to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, shop for swag, read blog posts, watch videos, and listen to the latest episodes. In the meantime, visit CrazyFitnessGuy.com to see what we are up to in between episodes. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay motivated.